So thank you, Fanny, for your kind introduction, and thank you all for letting me share with you some results we obtained in an in vivo model of CTD, and for this presentation focused on females. I will go fast with the two first slides of introduction, just to say that the creatine, of course, is very important for the renewal of ATP and for the energy of the cells. But do not forget that it is also probably something important in the brain as maybe a neuromodulator or even true neurotransmitter, and it's also one of the main osmolytes of the CNS. I won't give too much details on the creatine deficiency syndromes. Just say, as we have heard already this morning, that so far we don't have many satisfactory treatments for the creatine transporter deficiency, and that's the reason why my research these days is focused on a model of creatine transporter deficiency to try to better understand it, and then if we have chance to define new strategies of treatment. So as we have heard just before, and as I know since many decades, girls are different and girls matter. And in fact, when you are doing fundamental research with in vivo models, since many decades, most often researchers are focused on males, and the females are forgotten. And it's not fair, and especially for the diseases which are X-linked, as we have heard from Yedeke just before, we see very interesting things in the female creatine transporter deficient in our rat, and this is due to this particularity of the random inactivation of the X chromosome in these X-linked diseases. So I have the same cats as Yedeke. We have seen that a very low number of females are diagnosed with CTD. This may be due to the low penetrance and to this random inactivation of the X chromosome. If we consider also creatine metabolism and its role in energy, it's also known that between the sexes there are some differences in the way the fat is managed, in the way the muscle mass is managed, and so this also may contribute to differences between female and male patients, and the same in the model I will show you just in a few minutes. So to better understand this disease, we developed this rat CTD model, which shows one nucleotide mutation, which gives a change in amino acids that was described in a few patients, a few human patients, and that completely invalidate the activity of the transporter. So we have already published 2 papers on characterizing the males, and now the females are not yet published, but it will come quite soon, and I will show you this now. First, we have shown that the male rat with the mutation are mimic quite well where is it? Yeah. Does that work?
Second job.
Okay. We have a good correspondence between our male mutants and the male patients. I don't want to go in all the details, but for the body weight gain, for, of course, the creatine deficiency measured by MRS, for markers in the urine, in plasma, for some behavioral tests, we have a good match between our males and the male patient. If we compare the male patients and the female patients in human, we have heard already that there are some differences. You can have attenuated symptoms but also some different symptoms. And we wondered whether we had the same in our female rats. I must say that it has never been found so far in the human population, a double mutant, but in our rat strain we can have double mutants by breeding sick males with heterozygous females. And this is also interesting in a fundamental way to better understand probably fundamental things on creatine metabolism. So first here, the weight gain. The heterozygous females were not different at all from the wild-type females. Only the homozygous females had a decreased weight gain. So no difference between, on the left, between the female wild-type and the heterozygous female. If we looked at creatine by MRS in the brain, we had the whole spectrum for heterozygous female from almost normal to very deficient. So you see in the middle, 2 heterozygous female with a small decrease, like the one that Hideki presented us, maybe, or very strong decrease. But we have also heterozygous female on the left that appear completely normal in terms of creatine in their brain. And the homozygous females are like the male, the sick males, with a complete creatine deficiency in the brain. If one looks at the other marker that is looked at in the males, which is the ratio between creatine and creatinine in the urine, the heterozygous female did not show this increase of creatine over creatinine ratio in urine. Only the homozygous showed this. So probably this urinary creatine over creatinine ratio is not a good marker to detect the disease in the female patients. In plasma, creatine was decreased in the heterozygous females and highly decreased in the homozygous female. We had also a strong decrease of creatinine in the homozygous female, but not in the heterozygous. This in the homozygous female may be due to the highly reduced muscular mass of the female. In CSF, we had no significant changes in creatine in either heterozygous or homozygous female. Then we moved to more behavioral things, and we looked at the locomotion with the several tests like the circular corridor or the open field test, and also the way the rats rear on their legs. And what we showed here is that only the homozygous females showed reduced motor function. The heterozygous showed a slight tendency to hyperactivity, but not reaching the significativity. And there was no difference for the heterozygous females against the wild type in terms of the way they could rear on their hind legs. Only the homozygous had a significative alteration. By doing other tests like the Y-maze spontaneous alternation, which may reflect things in working memory and attention, here also we did not observe any significant difference in the behavior of the heterozygous of the homozygous female. So this, at least in our rat, no significant difference. A bit less of locomotor activity in this test for the homozygous female. The behavior of grooming, which is a kind of a self-stimulation with the front legs, which can be compared to some of the autistic-like behavior, did not show here also any difference compared to the wild type. Finally, these two tests with the Y maze, the elevated plus maze and the light dark box, which are tests for more to test the anxiety of the animal. Rodents like to explore the environment, but they don't like to be exposed in the light or in a very open space. They like to hide in corners. So these two tests are very interesting to test this kind of anxiety behavior. First, before the test, we must say that these females have some behavioral abnormalities when you just look at them in their cage. They are more stressed when you just handle them on the hand, for example. They injure themselves. Sometimes they bite themselves, or they kind of maybe aggressivity. And this is also observable if we put heterozygous female to breed. They are aggressive with the males. So we did these two tests, and in the elevated plus male, the heterozygous females did not show behavioral differences in comparison to the wild type. And here also the homozygous female showed more anxiety-like behavior and less locomotion. And this is different from the males because when we did it on the males, the mutated males showed less anxiety-like behavior and similar locomotion compared to their wild-type control. With the light-dark box, heterozygous females showed less anxiety-like behavior, and this is the same as the males, but more locomotion. And we don't understand why, but here the homozygous female did not show any difference compared to the wild type. So to sum up all these, we observed sexual differences with females showing some normal features in comparison to male. We showed that heterozygous female very often showed milder or normal phenotypes in some feature. There are consistent results between patients and the rat model if you consider the males with the rat males and the female patients with the rat females for many of the aspects that we have looked at. And the heterozygous female showed behavioral troubles like a little bit of hyperactivity, aggression, changes in anxiety-like behavior. And if we compare the heterozygous and the homozygous females, we see zygotic effects, really differences between the two. And this is quite probably interesting to learn more on fundamental things on creatine metabolism. Maybe not to use the homozygous information for the female patients in human because we don't find them in the human population. So to conclude, we have also for the female a model that recapitulates quite well what is found in the female patients in humans, and which remains a very interesting tool to better understand the disease and maybe find some treatments. And I thank you for your attention. Just to say that this work was essentially the one of Lara Durand-Trio, a postdoc in my group. Thank you.